Yeah. Oh, wow. I already did all this stuff. Uh-huh. Well, it's good she put it out there for everybody. It makes sense. Like, it's a great game to get into. The API. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, cool. It is, like, such a good system. Nice. Give Jay a couple more minutes to see if he jumps in. If not, I will do the Mr. Spiffy starts flying away. Yeah. Oh, wow. It makes sense. Layers in the sewer. It's crazy. It's almost like it's in the name of the game. Yeah. I'd have to think about it, see if everybody else would want to do that with buy-in. I could, I could easily adapt. Well, anything officially published, I would be, I would be up for. Let's see, we're on what, episode 10 of this, or session 10. Oh. Well, that was the idea. If not, it's going to be pretty much like start off at 5th edition D&D. Yeah. Well, I kind of already have that going on with my West Marches game. But finding time to run it's crazy with this course load. Thinking about taking the summer back down to half a schedule. Alright. No rest for the wicked. So what I'm tracking happened the last time was y'all went in to the wolves' den. You were able to systematically lure some out until you got rushed by what seemed like the entire wolf's den. Running low on resources and hit points, you decided that discretion was a better part of valor. The white wolf that you killed was not in fact Kiril. And then you heard the hunting pack. Mr. Spiffy flew up to the top, said that they were about four turns out. And this is where you're at now, at the mouth of the cave, deciding what you're going to do. I'll give you a little bit to talk amongst yourselves, kind of get a little bit of a battle plan. That does check out. So Kojin's got Longstrider active, and you cast that on yourself, Adrian, and Dan Jackules. So, as you can see, the boxes, the chase is going to be run in segments. And what we're going to do is we're going to go successful skill checks will get you down a segment. The Longstrider being active will definitely like decrease the difficulty checks for a couple of those things. Or make it to where failure doesn't set you back as much. Let's see, where are we at with initiative? Let me clean that up. Ah, yeah. Alright, so if you guys want to roll into initiative, let me know when you guys are ready. Endurance got a 12. And what did Kojin get? It's a respectable 8. Alright, let's put us in descending order. Ooh, I see Adrian up there twice. So I'll just take that one out. Alright, so first up is Adrian. It is like a mile from where you guys are at to the village of Krezk, which you can see like all the way down at the bottom of the page. So it's a series of 10 skill challenges depending on how you roll. So Adrian, with it being your turn first, what would you like to do? Okay, I got you on that. Give me, what do you think would work better? Deception, nature, survival? Let's go with deception then. Unless you got one that thinks works better. Well, let's use intelligence in your deception then. Alright. When you make your back spring back, the snow that's accumulated on those loose boughs immediately cover it over. It worked until it didn't. Is there anything else? Anything else you're doing on your turn? Gotcha. Alright, next up is Dan. Yeah. Okay. What do you think would work? Nature, survival, deception? Let's go with deception. Ooh. It gets hung up on one of those boughs that had just been undone. Alright, anything else you're going to try to do on your turn? This is weird, it's like Revenge of the Dice. You guys are really hot in the cave. Alright, so you check that and you start trudging along. I will put you right there. Anything else? Ooh, roll 1d20 for me. Yes. As you go through, you get caught up in a couple of deer that were laid down, kind of trying to hide from what's going on. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, DC 10. Alright. Yeah, for some reason it didn't transfer all the other ones over. So you take 2 bludgeoning and 2 piercing as they try to get their way through and trample over you. Alright, anything else? Alright. Next up is Mr. Spiffy, and then the wolves. Yeah, if you're trying to, like, chuck some feathers. Alright, give me a deception. Nice. We'll see if that works. Alright, next up is the wolves. Double move. Boom, boom. You can start to hear them coming up on you, and as a matter of fact, you're starting to hear brush breaking. You'd say 200 feet behind you. That's their go. Next up is Kojin. Yeah, absolutely. Alright, you made it to that next section. Next up is Adrian. Alright, move and dash. Make it to there. Dan Jackules, it is your go. Alright, so first thing you're going to do is dash, so that gets you your 30 feet. Are you going to move with that? Alright, give me that sweet 1d20 roll. Nice. There is nothing of any consequence in that space. Alright, and if you're done, next up is Mr. Spiffy. Alright. Gotcha. Wolves are breaking through. They're double moving. They've made it to what sounds like the mouth of the cave. Kojin, it is your go. Alright. Adrian, it is your go. Gotcha. Dan, it is your go. Okay. Got it. Are you going to be dashing and moving along with that? Because I'll say grabbing the stuff's out of item interaction. Alright, since you're the first one in this new space, roll me that 1d20. Uneven ground threatens to slow your progress. Make a DC 10 Dexterity Acrobatics to navigate the area. Acrobatics. Yeah. You are good. You managed to catch your footing. Alright. Next up would be Mr. Spiffy. You can hear there is over a dozen wolves heading this way. They haven't even made it to that part yet. Alright. Next up is the werewolves that make it into there. You hear a couple of them start to go off to where the molting is. A couple of the other ones are still hot in pursuit. Next up is Kojin. Alright, it's the same uneven terrain. I need that DC 10 acrobatics check. You falter a little bit, but thanks to your long strider, you don't lose any ground. Alright. Next up is Adrian. Dang. Some good stuff. Alright, next up is Dan. Alright, so if you do that, you make it into the next square, and I need that 1d20. $15, you are good. Next step is Mr. Spiffy. Alright, you're flying, so you don't have to worry about that. Next step is the werewolves, who double move. They are a mere 120 feet behind you guys. They, a couple of the smaller wolves went off to Mr. Spiffy's molt. A couple of them are tearing up the bloody wineskin. It looks like some of them that are trudging through are following your trail, and they seem more intelligent than the other ones. Kojin, it is your go. You're muted. Gotcha. Adrian, your go. Bam. Dan Jackules. Do you want to be? It's like right by the wood's edge. You can be in there. Yeah. Alright. Since you're the first one to break in the square, roll me that d20. 6. I need you to make a DC 10 dexterity savings throw, as there is a... Oh, nice. You are good. It was like a pitfall trap that had been set up by some hunters, but you were able to leap across to the other side. Alright. If that's your go, the next up is Mr. Spiffy. You can always coordinate it. Alright. Werewolves are mere 90 feet behind you. Alright, Kojin, it is your go. Got it. You know where the thing's at. You're able to avoid it. Adrian. Gotcha. Dan. Gotcha. Roll me that d20. Since you're the first person in the square. Alright, DC 10 acrobatics because of uneven ground. You're good, your long strider makes up for the difference. So you move basically your normal movement. Alright, Mr. Spiffy. From what I was tracking, Kojin cast it at, what was it, 2nd level, and he can only get 3 people. So... Alright. Alright, how much of your... Okay, so you just went up another 5. Alright, that's the wolves thing. Kojin, it is your go. They're still 90 feet behind you. Alright. Adrian? Gotcha. Dan? Are you talking about the spell rope trick? Alright. What are you trying to do with the rope trick? Got it. Alright. So with your action, you still gotta move. So. Alright. Next step is Mr. Spiffy. Gotcha. The werewolves. Boom. Alright, they haven't made it to the rope yet. Next up is Kojin. The walls of Krezk are within your sights. Alright, you roll me 1d20 since you're the first one breaking into the square. More uneven ground. Give me that DC 10 acrobatics. Alright, you falter, but the long strider takes up the difference. Next up is Adrian. I was counting Adrian's spider climb as pretty much just like even if you slipped, I mean, you can walk upside down on the ceiling. Yeah. But still very impressive. Allegedly. Seems uncanny. Alright, Dan, it is your go. Alright. Mr. Spiffy, you can hear him 60 feet behind you. The walls are about 20 feet tall. Alright. We'll say you can get another move out of it. If you do like the move and dash. Alright. The werewolves coming along. Alright, you can all hear them hot on your heels. It sounds like a pack of about a dozen. Kojin, it is your go. Gotcha. Go ahead and give me that roll. $16. Everything's good. Anything above an 11 is all good. Adrian, it is your go. Yep, we just got to you though. Gotcha. Nothing to worry about in that square. Next up is Dan. Alright. Mr. Spiffy. Gotcha. Werewolf's turn. They double move. Next up is Kojin. Gotcha. They are opening up the gate for you and you're able to make it inside. As a matter of fact, everybody can make it inside with their next go unless somebody wants to do anything crazy. But now you got another problem. You got a pack of about 12, now that they're out in the open. About 12 to 15 wolves circling around the entire city. As the guards look uneasy, they let you guys know, we don't think that we have the people to handle this. Yeah, we got arrows. No. I think we decided it was 1 on the last one. Let's see, let me bring you guys onto the Krezk map. These walls are beefy stone, and they've got the area on top that you can walk and see down. This is definitely way better than Valaki's wooden palisades. You start to hear alarm bells from the alarm horns being called from like down around the other parts as they're starting to alert on the pack of wolves that are roaming around the walled city. The Abbey? Are you sure? Nobody. Okay. So they start trying to get people, they start ringing the alarm bell. There's like 20 households in Krezk, and all of them are kind of confused on what's going on. You see, this place is thought to have been very, very defendable. But somehow the werewolves have gotten in and taken the kids before. So it's probably only a matter of time until they do it again. What's everybody doing? Chanting? Oh, panting. They're slowly going through. There's maybe about 20 guards that you guys see mixed throughout the entire wall. They're starting to ring the alarm bell, muster people to the center of town. Bows, long swords, shields, about a quiver of arrows, a couple spears, javelins, nothing remarkable. Burgomaster is in the first house. Alright. You see, he's already talking with guards trying to get an evacuation thing going. He's talking about a couple of different places. He's talking about the pool. Every time they start bringing up the Abbey, he's like, we don't know if it's safe. Nobody ever comes back. They might be able to get you some. They can roll me a 1d4. Yep. This is about like the minute that the werewolves are trying to find a way to get in. What's everybody else doing for this minute? Adrian's getting oil flask. They're able to find you one flask of oil that can treat like 10 pieces of ammunition. Or coat one weapon. Gotcha. What's Kojin doing? Alright. Dan, what are you up to? There's about 20 guards that have been summoned. That's about max for this town. There's not a lot of people. Yeah? Kind of like the town square. Alright. And Mr. Spiffy, while your playing was beautiful, everybody's just fucking scared shitless. Because these things have been trying to kill them for some time now. And now they, in broad daylight, like 10 o'clock in the morning, come to the walls of Krezk, an entire pack. I think you went with catnap. Well, I mean, you could try to put a couple of willing allies to sleep for 10 minutes, get a short rest in. Well, you only know as it's going. This is the first minute while the werewolves are basically probing the perimeter. You hear a couple yelps. These guards are firing, and their arrows are having an effect on some of them. You do see somebody walking down from the abbey, kind of a jog. It's Esmeralda. She's got an axe in one hand and a sword in the other. The sunlight reflects silver off of it. She looks like she's coming down to join the foray. All the houses are basically like one big 800 square foot building with like a coop and pens attached to it. All the houses have the ability for them to like bar themselves in. The burgomaster's house has a basement in it, and it's pretty much just empty. Irina's making her, or not Irina, Esmeralda's making her way down. She's about halfway there. Since Dan's doing his thing, take a look at something. Alright, so from what I hear, the plan is to find a place for them to go in there and burn it down. Burn them down. So a lot of these places are like 800 square foot long houses, large common area with like little nooks and crannies in them. The feeding pens and the coops are attached to it to share the heat. Some places even have a basement, like the burgomaster's place has like a earth cellar that they keep provisions in. Because of the amount of werewolves, all the houses have shutters that are able to be barred, as well as the doors from the inside. What's everybody else thinking? Alright, Adrian, you going down for 10 minutes? Alright. This first. Okay. You also see Esmeralda is making her way down. She's like hit that little winding area, that winding path that comes from the Abbey. I'm not gonna lie, that was my shower thought. Was, if these guys run straight back, they're just leading the werewolves to the town. So far, nothing yet. This is the first minute of everything going, so I need somebody to roll me a 1d6. It's good. You start hearing a lot of the guards. They are like loosing arrows at these things. You're hearing yelps of wolves, everything like that. Nothing seems to have come over the fence yet. Now we're on to the second minute. Should not be an issue. Go ahead and give me an attack roll for it, so that way I can just calculate that into what you hit and the damage that you take care of. one of the wolves you hit just stops moving. Seems to be a couple of the guards are very, very happy at that. They're like, oh, thank God we've got real adventurers here. Alright, Adrian's catnapping. What's Mr. Spiffy doing? Oh, are you talking Viva La Dirt League? So while he's like sleeping, you're gonna like cover him with blood, draw a dick on his face, like what? I'm sorry, trace a dick on his face. Alright, Dan, what you doing? If you want to take a shot with your last crossbow bolt, you're definitely welcome to it. He's throwing down produce flames. Gotcha. You're seeing about 15 wolves, well, 14 wolves running around right now. Yeah. The ones that went off to Mr. Spiffy's trail ended up rejoining. Gotcha. You're gonna try to get people rounded up and going up to the Abbey? Alright, give me a intimidation or a persuasion check. It's gonna be a 15. This place is kind of like their Amityville horror. You see a couple of them starting to like grab their stuff, and then people are like, no, we don't go up there. Nobody's ever come back from there. The abbot came down one time in 25 years. Yeah, they go from the inside. You just get them closed, shut them up. There's only like an area leading down into a root cellar, which you are starting to see the burgomaster ushering his wife and kid into. Alright. Alright. I think that's everybody. Let's go with minute number 2. Somebody roll me a d6. Alright, second minute down. Esmeralda comes jogging in, looking around. She's like, "There's some that are trying to breach the wall by the pool." Yeah, it's all the way up to the north. What's everybody doing? Anybody showing you the way to the pool? Yeah, there's a guard who is like, you just follow the road in the center of town all the way up north. If you go past the wall, you've gone too far. Let's see, each one of these is 50 feet. So it is about 600 feet, give or take. Yeah, so it would be about 450. Yeah, if you had long striders still going, I'd say you'd probably move about 2 squares each go. Let me tell you what, let me throw some people down on here. Get rid of your guys' party token. Alright, that's where you guys are at. Not Dan. Dan's in there as well. Alright. And then Esmeralda has linked up with you, so she's there. Let's put her in as that. Here we go. So anything that anybody wants to accomplish this minute, or else we're just going to roll it into the next one. Okay. Alright. Let's say you made that far. Anybody else? Alright, somebody roll me a d6 for minute 3. 5. Alright, everything's still doing good. Minute 3. You're starting to hear some commotion on the walls as they're now starting to try to clamber up and over, and you hear the guards grow visibly distraught and yell out as they're like, they're shifting! They're werewolves! So now you can see small packs of these werewolves. And it looks like there's about one werewolf that's got about another 2 or so smaller wolves with it. So these will just be the conglomeration. Anybody going to be doing anything? If not, we're going to get another roll in. It's been 2 minutes so far. We're on the 3rd minute. Adrian needs 10 in order to get his catnap. I'm saying he's like sleeping at the front of the burgomaster's house. Alright, Kojin, have you moved yours too, or? Do you want to do that? I'll move you. Probably a good idea. Mr. Spiffy. Alright, somebody roll me a d6. Two? Alright. You hear screams as one of the wolves crest over and starts attacking the guards by the pool. Panic is starting to set in. It looks like these werewolves, are now getting ready to try to storm this gate down here. What's everybody doing? Adrian's got 3 minutes of sleep down, needs 7 more to get that short rest in. I know that Adrian has the one vial of oil that they were able to find on short notice. Gotcha. Yeah. Alright, so if nobody has any objections, we're going to go into the next minute, where these werewolves up here actually jump up and start attacking these guards. So, They go and scale and they start thrashing around. The guards and scouts going against the werewolves have almost no effect on them whatsoever, as none of their weapons are silvered. They quickly realize this and start to break away. That's what they're going to be doing. What's everybody else doing? Everybody's a little bit more apt. Go ahead and give me that persuasion or intimidation. This time you can do it at advantage. 21. Yep, they are definitely all about heading that way. Anybody else? You've still got another 6 minutes on your catnap unless Mr. Spiffy's waking you up. Oh, it's already happened. They're starting to break their way in. Alright. 2 large werewolves jumped over there. You can hear clawing and scraping coming against the gate. It looks like the werewolves are slaughtering whoever is up on there, and they are starting to make their way down to open that gate. Yeah. Yeah, you can, each square is 50 feet. So you could, with long strider, we'll give you the same too. Alright, Esmeralda also sees what you're doing. And she's got her weapons, and she's going to start moving in with you to try to help defend. What's everybody else doing? Mr. Spiffy? Dan? Alright. Uh, 75. Go for it. Which one are you trying to hit? We'll say that one, yeah. Nice. It is not. It is 12. Gotcha. That does an additional 1d8, so just go ahead and put it in on top of that. At least that's the way I remember. I was thinking you were just gonna throw your boomerang afterwards. All right. They jump down and they start maneuvering the giant log off the bar for the gate. It looks like in the next round they are going to get it. That is their turn. You also hear like a whole bunch of commotion, like howls and stuff like that starting from the front of the door. It seems like as soon as they open it, it is going to be a flood of wolves and werewolves. Alright. Back to the top of the round. Adrian only has 5 more minutes until his catnap is effective. What is everybody else doing? Welcome. Are you going to be able to play, Chris? Or are you here for the... Okay. Alright. Gotcha. Alright. Nice. You have found yourself in the village of Krezk, and everybody else has went off to go investigate these werewolves. You managed to make it there a little bit later. You hung out in the abbey with a flesh golem who looked like Irina, as well as the Stani woman who is missing a leg, very armored. She's doing research on how to kill vampires. The rest of the group starts running back from the werewolf den, and then everybody's conglomerated by the burgomaster's house. They put Adrian to sleep, and then that's where everybody's at. Werewolves have climbed it over, so you're there for that. Is there anything that you would like to do? Alright, so if anything comes within range, I will let you know. Alright. Anybody else doing anything? Alright. Irina follows you. we'll say the distance is fungible, so if you want to get an attack in, you could probably make that happen. Gotcha. Go ahead and make your attack. Anything above a 12. '18's a hit. Go ahead and give me some damage. Are you gonna hit the one that Dan Jaculus has already hit? Alright. Ooh. It does not look happy. Gotcha. Anything for Dan? Anything for Mr. Spiffy? Gotcha. It happens, but healing is healing. Alright, they are able to push the big, huge weight thing off, and you start to see claws and gnarled fingers starting to weave their way through and starting to pull this thing open. You see the snapping heads of wolves starting to like try to force their way through. It's going to be open the next round, and there's going to be problems. What's everybody doing? He's got another 4 rounds until he gets the benefits of his catnap. Alright. Gotcha. Kojin, are you doing anything? Irina's like attacking 2-sword with her rapier as well as like a silvered short sword. So she's engaged in combat with the one that's in front of her. Gotcha. I will say that you could angle it to where you can miss her, hit those 2, and then hit whatever's in line for the meager opening that you have. So all the wolves that are trying to snap their head through. Alright. And you said it's a 15? Alright, that is a fail. I love the fact that you can, after you just submit it, you can hit up. That one passed. And that one right there passes. So give me damage. Ooh, so this one took all that 8. The one that it hit on before, it looks like it's about bloodied. And that one took the 4, and then the other ones also took a little bit. Alright, that is their go. Gotcha. I'll even let you get one more that way. Irina's still engaging. She's getting scratched a little bit, but she's dodging the majority of it. Alright. Anybody else got anything? Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Spiffy's trying. One of these days we'll be on map tools. Or not map tools, Foundry. I'm with you. Did you go up there with Kojin and with Esmeralda? I'll say you're within hoop pack range if that's where you're at. All right. You are within range. What would you like to do? Gotcha. Do these have any special qualities to them? I don't think that you had silvered ammo for your hoop pack. Okay. Give me an attack roll. Anything above a 13 hits. Oh wait, you want me to roll? Got it. Let me jump into your sheet. One moment. We are experiencing technical doing stuffs. Alright. Unfortunately, a 7 will not hit. And then if you got your next one, that is an 18. 18's going to hit. Since it's non-silvered, non-magical, it slaps it in the face. Does not do the damage that you think it would. It's almost like your attack was ineffective against the werewolf. Alright. And it's going to be a wisdom saving throw versus a 15. It made it. But it definitely sees you now. It licks its lips. Alright, anybody else doing anything? If not, we're going along to the next round. Alright, Adrian's got 3 rounds left. The walls are open. What? What level are you casting it at? You start to... You have started to notice that werewolves are climbing over, stuff starting to pour through. They are ignoring primarily the ineffective attacks from the guards, and they're starting to try to bust into houses. That is what they are doing. I guess now would be the time to get some initiative in. Hold on Just a second. Jabbers on an 11. Alright, Dan Jackules, what did you get? 23. Kojin, what did you get? 6. Alright, let's do some descending order. First step is Dan Jackules with a 23, and then the werewolves. That's weird. Let me add you really quick. What did you roll? Gotcha. Alright, so we got Dan Jackules, the werewolves, Adrian, Jabber, Kojin, Mr. Spiffy, Esmeralda. So first up is Dan Jackules. Just to put it into context, we're saying that it's the 8th round since the wolves showed up. Adrian's got 2 rounds until he gets his short rest in. She's still down there. Sure, why not? He was up there. He burning hands to grab the boomerang. Yeah, like Dan Jackules might want this. Alright. Werewolves' turn. They start going through. The place is being flooded. These werewolves are starting to get into the houses that are nearby. They're starting to run. You can hear the screams of people being torn limb from limb in their own homes, as more and more just keep pouring through. So far, about 8 wolves have made it through so far. Adrian, it is your go. Got you. Jabber, it's your go. Alright, are you going for wolves or werewolves? Alright. $12? I think that's a hit. Give me some damage. Alright. Big hit on one of them. The wolf starts limping. That actually did some damage. That's a hit. I think that's just enough. You end up finishing it off. So now there's only like 13 things coming through this gate. Gotcha. You're going to try to create some distance? Alright, that is definitely a fail. It looks at you with murderous intent in its eyes. It's safe to say that it's going to be coming after you next turn. No, it failed. So it wants you. Is that your turn? Alright. Gotcha. Next up is Kojin. Nice. Gotcha. We'll put you right about there. Alright. Mr. Spiffy, it is your go. Alright. Esmeralda, after fighting 2 werewolves, she's pretty scratched up. You see her pull something out of a component pouch, smash it down, and her body gossamers and shimmers as she is now not visible. And then you start to see a multitude of lacerations start to open up on these werewolves. Alright, Dan Jackules, it is your go. We're back up to the top of the round. These 2 up in here have actually like broken into the houses, and that's like more of like a small cluster. It's like 1 werewolf and like a couple of other smaller wolves, anywhere from 2 to 4. They're like, werewolves are kicking in the doors, the wolves are going in, and they're starting to like rip people limb from limb, pull them apart. Gotcha. Werewolves go. The one that Jabber taunted is going to move forward and do some claw bite action. Jabber, your AC is 12. That is going to be 23 damage to you for the first one, and then a bite. It's going to be 9 piercing, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, DC 12. As you get clawed and then bitten. That's good. You felt like something was trying to sicken you, but you managed not to get it. Alright. The one that is around or in front of the invisible 18 total. The one that's in front of Esmeralda is getting cut up and hit, and then you start to see footpaths as it looks like Esmeralda is starting to disengage. Alright, Adrian, you got... This is the last round of you sleeping. Next turn you're up. Jabber, it is your go. Alright. Well, there's one that's literally right in your face. Gotcha. That's a hit. Is it silvered? Then you stick it, and then as soon as you draw it out, that hole immediately begins to close. There was a remnants of a looked like a wagon, but poking around you didn't see anything. There might be some watery tart handing out scimitars in your near future, but nothing so far. Alright, 23 hits. And as soon as you start to pull it out, you notice that the hole starts closing up. Gotcha. Yeah, if you're gonna attack, it's either you or it. Alright. Both of them hit. Both of them you saw go in, but the hole immediately started closing as soon as it was out. You notice that the wounds that are being left on the other werewolves that are either magical or from silvered or magic weapons are persisting. Alright, Kojin, it is your go. Does it say it hits like a magic weapon? You know what? I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll allow that for this time. So we'll figure that out. I'll do a little bit more. Yeah, I'll let it slide this time. I'll do some more due diligence for the next. All right, Kojin, it is your go. Gotcha. Alright. Next up is Mr. Stiffy. Gotcha. Esmeralda is beating feet away because she's getting overwhelmed. Dan Jackfields, it is your turn in the top of the round. Alright. Werewolf's turn. You start to see sauntering through a humanoid figure. Hold on just a second whilst I transfer this one over. From outside, everybody can see that it is in fact the person who you guys were sent here to kill. Kiril. Jump back over to where everybody's at. Alright. Right down there is where you see it. He's sniffing the air. Jabber, you were getting claw and bite against you. 13 hits for 9 slashing. And the bite misses as you were able to move your hoop hack in the way and it knocks it off course. So you only take 9 slashing damage. This one moves. Alright. They seem to be systematically going through the houses. Next up is Adrian, who is good to go. It's the extremes. So in that house, it's like a pack. It's like one werewolf with like 2 other wolves with it. They are like, they've killed the adults. They are now trying to like take the kids. Alright, anything above a 12. Gotcha. Alright. Both hit. You hear it scream out in pain. Alright. If that's your turn, next up it is Jabber. Then it is Jabber's turn. Chris, if you're there. Gotcha. That is a hit. So 14 is gonna hit. So gotcha. And then two attacks came from your echo. What is the Alright. Gotcha. That helps me out. It looks pretty bruised and battered. So you're gonna swap places with your echo? Alright. As you go closer to the gate, you see a humanoid figure walking with like rags up. He looks very, very angry. His face is pitted, almost snarling. Alright, Kojin, it is your go. Alright. Next up is Mr. Spiffy. Alright. Okay. Gotcha. And if that's your held action, next step is going to be Dan Jackals and then the Werewolves. Yeah, we'll say it's 60 feet. It's within range of your dissonant whisper. Gotcha. Alright. There you go. I pulled you off to the side above Adrian. Alright. Gotcha. Alright, werewolves, so let's do Mr. Spiffy's thing first. Is that werewolf burst out looking for the dude with the crazy whip? Alright. All these tokens are so close together. But that is definitely a failure. How much damage? Alright. Stops at the doorway shaking its head. It looks bloodied. Alright. This other one makes a little bit of room for pack leader to come through. It is going to do a claw and a bite against Jabber. So first one is a claw, 12 hits, that's 7 slashing. Next is the bite, 21, that's 8. That is a total of 15 damage to you, Jabber. And then I need you to make that familiar DC 12 Constitution save. Nice. You have not been stricken with lycanthropy. Pulling through is Kiril Stolyevich. As he looks through, he says, "This is it. These are the ones that wiped out my pack, killed my mate. Get the younglings. Destroy everyone else." And then he looks at you, Jabber. And he goes to try to grab you. Give me an opposing athletics or acrobatics. Ooh, that is a 23 that you gotta beat. He holds you firmly in place. Says, "Child, you're coming with me." Alright. Other werewolves doing their stuff. What's up? Alright, so it moves further back into the house. Alright, next up is Adrian. It started to, and then it got dissident whispered and went back into the house because it flew, flot, fled. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you specifically held your action. And it wasn't like each one of these squares is like 50 feet. So, in the ambiguousness. And if you wanted to run in there and try to hit it again. Gotcha. Yes. You should still have Longstrider up from Kojin as well. Alright. Jabber, it is your go. You have a large, burly human in tattered rags sneering at you, grabbing you, telling you that you're going to be part of the pack. Just submit. We'll say right next to it. It's not an attack of opportunity if he grabs you. Alright. That's a hit. Alright. Gotcha. As you smack him, he looks and he goes, "Brat." Alright. Kojin, it is your go. We'll say you can get into the house and be in combat with it. It's that werewolf and like two other smaller wolves. The smaller wolves look like they've taken unconscious children and they've like grabbed onto them and they're starting to try to drag them out. Gotcha. Anything above a 12's gonna hit. Counts as magical because of the infusion. Alright. You would think that this thing's on single digits. Alright. Next up is Mr. Spiffy. Yeah, there's one next to Jabber. And then there's another one rummaging around in that house. Looks like it's about ready to come out. Gotcha. If that's your turn, next up is Dan Jackules. Yeah, absolutely. Gotcha. 17 definitely hits. Alright. Still up. That would be cool. If that's it, next up is the werewolves. This werewolf up here is going to take a swipe at you, Dan, claw bite. That's a 22 for 7 slashing, and then on the bite, that is going to be a 23 for 5 piercing. And then I need you to make that DC 12 Constitution save. Alright. The other werewolf's going to attack at Jabber's Echo. 11's going to miss. Bite is coming in. That's also... Your Echo is harder to hit than you are. Kiril starts to shift while he's still got a hold on you, and becomes a big, beefy werewolf, and he howls. All the other werewolves around him howl as well. They're all doing their thing. Bold strategy. Alright, you got 2 Mr. Spiffy that came out. Alright. That is a 19. Is it half on a unsuccessful, or is it... Alright. Gotcha. Alright, that is their go. Adrian, it is your turn. Alright, it's going to be a little bit harder. I'm giving him, like, a little bit of cover because of Jabber. So just don't roll a natural 1. Ooh. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. He's a little bit beefier. Anything above a 13. 14 does hit. Alright, Jabber, it is your go. Alright. Okay. That's just your action. If you said that you're gonna dash, that's an action. Alright. He's got you. You're grappled. Well, you swap places, so bonus action, action. Alright, and then you said you moved behind him? Alright. Call it like that. Anything else? Alright, next up is Kojin, then Mr. Spiffy, and Dan Jackal starts up the next round. Kojin, what do you want to do? Alright. That is one dead werewolf. Yep. Oh yeah. They haven't been able to make it out since you guys have kind of like blocked the entrance. But fun fact, when werewolves die, they turn back into what they normally were. And you see about a 14-year-old child, slightly malnourished, lying dead on the ground. Gotcha. Anything above a 13? Yep. Oh yeah, that wolf's dead. Gotcha. Next up is Mr. Spiffy. The last thing you saw, he was engaged with Jabber about 100 feet away. I just thought that my description was that good. Alright. Gotcha. Okay. Next up is Danjacules. I think there's one more wolf in there. Correct. Gotcha. 13. Ooh. It's not so much that you missed it as you weren't trying to go through the wolf and hit the kid, so it took advantage of that. Anything else you got on your turn? Alright. Werewolves are coming out. This one actually shifts back into human form. And as it shifts into human form, it picks up a bow and quiver off of the body of one of the scouts that had fallen. This one right here starts running into those places. This one right here comes out. Makes those two moves. Alright, Jabber. You have got Sensing the Bloodlust. It is going to attack at Jabber for a claw and a bite. So there's the claw for 5 slashing, and then the bite comes. Gotcha. And then you get another 4 piercing as it bites into your shoulder. I need you to make that DC 12 Constitution. Alright, so that was a total of 9. Yep. I'll do it. You're at 1 hit point. Alright. Next up is Adrian. That's a big hit. You put a lot of work on him. You could tell he's the alpha. He's still standing, but there's chunks of fur missing, as well as flesh. Gotcha. Alright, next up is Jabber. Chris, it's your turn. Now I can. Like, it's right up on you. Alright. Are you gonna try to move? I think it's 30. Are you moving towards the allies or out of the area? Alright. So. Gotcha. We're moving you right back there. Anything else you want to do? Alright. Kojin, you see an injured Jabber limping his way down the street. What would you like to do? Gotcha. If you use your dash, you'll be able to make it up to it. Alright. Gotcha. Alright. Next up is Mr. Spiffy. I believe so, yes. Alright. And you got a 7, so that is a fail. That's going to be an attack of opportunity for Adrian. Got it. 13. How do you want to take down Kiril Stoyevich? Yep. As he's trying to flee from you, feebly just ends up choking himself down. Now all the other werewolves are very, very concerned. Gotcha. Alright, is that your turn, Mr. Spiffy? Alright, we got Dan Jackules and then the werewolves. Yeah, it's those green things on the map. So you're trying to use the tree as cover. Okay. Gotcha. Alright, Dan, it is your go. Alright. AC 13. Oh, he's like got him in the muzzle. Yeah, he's like grabbed on part of the clothing. You're doing a good job. He's very scared of you. Alright, if that's your turn, next up is the werewolves. Looking, the guy notches the arrow, sees Mr. Spiffy, and is like, shit, can't do anything. He is going to take a look at Jabber and fire a shot at him. Jabber, that is 7 piercing damage as an arrow hits you in the back. You are now unconscious. Alright, for its second shot, it is going to go ahead and make a shot at Adrian. Misses. Alright. Adrian, it is your go. Gotcha. Anything above a 12 is going to hit. Gotcha. Ooh. Even if you... Yeah. He dies as well. Gotcha. Jabber, death saving throw. It's a death save. It's a 1d20. Nice. You pop up with 1 hit point. Alright. Nobody's been really counting per square this whole entire time. This is like towards the end of the battle. Pretty much right now, everything's wrapping up as werewolves are starting to tear out of these houses. They don't look like they're bringing any kids, but who knows the amount of destruction that has befallen. And it doesn't take much to drive them completely out of the village. But it's going to take a while to figure out like how much damage they've done. As easily half of these places have been like ransacked. Alright. So we are out of combat. As we are trying to figure out what is happening in the grand scheme of things. Esmeralda. Give me a perception check. do you have anything that would give you advantage from being up in the sky? You see what appears to be an invisible creature limping up towards the abbey. Alright, you're like... Yeah, you can make it up to her. It's gonna take you a hot minute. She does not take any of your assistance. She's making it a point to walk on her own power. You would guess that about half the town has been killed outright. With all the wolves that were in the area, you guys were able to figure out the group that made it through. There were other ones throughout other parts who have basically massacred half of this town. Livestock, everything. But you guys have defeated the threat of the werewolves, so there's level 7. Gotcha. Kojin, you were saying something? Well, there's plenty of open houses to choose from. Alright, we're pretty much ending the gameplay of the session here, so I think this is a good place to call it. That's all good. We'll say that we're about the afternoon of day 6, so you guys have got about a day's left. If you guys are going to try to get a long rest in, which is completely possible, it'll be the evening of day 6. Do you guys want to do that? It's you guys hit level 7 and then you guys are resting. And then session 10 end day 6 at 8 p.m. The threat of the werewolves is gone. Alright, what are you guys going to do with the rest of the time? So that's what you want to do next time? Go to the werewolf den and see what you can't find? Alright, so that's what I'll plan for the next time. Alright, session 11, back to the werewolf den. Anybody else got anything? Alright, I will stop